If you want to be your first extreme demon, these are the 10 best strategies that make extreme demons easier and more consistent. By using these 10 strategies, you'll be your first extreme demon much faster. I'll show you how top players use these tips to be extreme demons faster and with fewer deaths. So before starting your first extreme, apply these 10 tips. The first strategy is death limits. And I recommend installing a mod menu like Eclipse. This will be linked below in the description. So grab a start pose version of your level, copy the level and open it. And you want to find your choke points. And this alone can make your hard parts so much more doable. But there is kind of a right way and a wrong way of doing this. You want to go to your first choke point. You want to turn noclip on, go here, turn on death limit. And for the death limit number, you want to change it based on your level. You're going to want to start at 5. Check 5 and see if that works for you. If it doesn't go up, if it does really well, go down. So for me, it was enough, so I can go down to 2. It's too hard for me, so I'm going to go up to 3. And once you find the sweet spot, you want to bulk practice it for around 100 to 200 attempts. And now you want to go to your next choke point and do the same thing, so right here for me. And once you learn these 10 strategies, beating extremes will become so much more easier. You need to set it to 5, so I'm going to set it to 2 because this part is doable for me. And for this choke point, 2 is my sweet spot. So I will bulk practice it for around 100 to 200 attempts again. And I'll do that for all of my choke points. Now once you've gone all the way to the beginning, you're probably a lot better at your level. And now you want to move on to the next tip. The second strategy is noclip accuracy. This also is a really important strategy. Get a start pose version of your level. So for this, you want to rule out any start positions that you have 100% on. First, we got to turn it on. So you want to turn on accuracy and make sure the label noclip accuracy is turned on. And when you're in, you want to be at the last start position and you want to turn on accuracy limit and make sure the noclip accuracy label is turned on. And for this, you want to go to your first start position, or like the start position where your difficulty ramps up a bit, and you want to turn on noclip and just see what accuracy you can get. And as you're playing the level, the parts where you have red, you want to go back and practice them. And my accuracy was on 98, which doesn't really matter. So the part where I saw the most reds was right here, I think. So we're here. You want to turn off noclip and just bulk practice this for around 100 attempts. After you practice that part, you want to turn on noclip again and go back to your first or second start position and do a noclip again and see where the parts you have red. So I beat the level and most of my reds were about right here. So I'll turn off noclip and bulk practice this. And repeat this process until you feel like all of your choke points were practiced. This third tip may sound dumb, but let me show you actually how good it is. It's playing hard or insane demons before your extreme, and this will apply only if you picked out an extreme. If your extreme is Cataclysm you want to do, now you can see your Cataclysm has a lot of wave in it, so you would probably go to the insane demon or hard demon and try to find some circles levels, for example 9 circles or jawbreaker. And for the insane demons, there's levels like poltergeist. And not only just doing the game mode that your extreme has in it, it's about picking insanes and hards that will give you that step up in skill. For example, good ones are like Windy Landscape. Necropolis is also a good one. And I honestly can't recommend any hard demon just because they're so far out from the skill for extreme demons. And if your level has, let's say, a lot of fast-paced gameplay, I would recommend you do this extreme called Bit Reaper. This level should really get you ready for fast-paced gameplay. I mean, just look at this. Also, one more strategy for this tip is to go online and see what other people are doing for like insanes and hards. Then you can see if you like those. The fourth tip will easily improve your skill in any level. It's placing your own checkpoints, then playing them. So I'm gonna go to Cataclysm. So this is kind of a weird and interesting tip. You're gonna leave auto checkpoints off for this. And while you play the level, you're going to place bits of checkpoints, and especially at parts like this, and in your hard parts, you just want to stop placing checkpoints and just practice them, so like this hard part here in Cataclysm. And once you feel like you've practiced it a lot, you're going to want to spam checkpoints kind of and go to the next game mode. And what I like to do if you play on keyboard, while you press the W up arrow key, also press the Z key. So we're going to go to this one, and we're going to bulk practice it now. Now we're going to go to the next part and practice this. We will head on over to this ball part, bulk practice it now, and keep going on and on with this tip until you get to the very end. And with this tip, you should really do it before you actually start grinding your extreme demon, because I think this method gives you a lot of deep practice. And guys, comment down below any tips you guys created that you think are really effective and I haven't said in this video. Because these are the tips I use to beat my first and next extreme demons. Tip 5 is a really simple tip. It's using auto checkpoints to practice your level. So go to your extreme demon and enable practice mode to make sure auto checkpoints right here is on. And now just beat your level. Now once you complete it, you want to hit this button. And you may have to delete a couple checkpoints. And be really careful because it may reset all of your checkpoints, which is not what you want. Instead, you want to go to the last major game mode switch. So for me, it's the wave. So I'm going to carefully go all the way back here. So right here, and I'm going to practice this. Practicing for around 50 attempts or so. So once you feel like you've gotten a little better at this part, you want to go back. You want to practice from this part next. And again, for around 50 attempts or so, we'll go back. An easier way to go back is to just turn off auto checkpoints so that it doesn't create checkpoints. So now I'll start right here and practice for a little bit. Then go back to the next part and keep doing this over and over again. And yeah, you want to keep doing this until you get to the end of the level. So I'm right here. And once you get to the end, or I should say the start of the level, you should feel more skilled in your level. And that's tip number 5. This next tip is another really simple one. It's bulk practicing your level with practice mode. So what you want to do is go to your level and enable practice mode. And for this, auto checkpoints should be on. And if this is your first to 6 extreme demon, this tip is probably worth trying. But above that, and it's kind of unnecessary. Either way, you want to go in your level of practice mode and try beating it. And once you beat it, you want to look at the attempt count, minus 73. You want to go back and try to do less than that. And you should be aiming to do this for the second practice run or the third one. So my practice run is done. I did about 37 attempts, which is pretty good. And do one more and try to lower it one more time. And again, you should be aiming to do at least 5 practice runs per day. This next tip will be helpful for more harder extremes. It's using speedhack to practice choke points of your level. Grab start pose version of your level. And you want to start with the choke point that's nearest to the end. For me, mine was right here. And you want to start with 0.7 speed. And just kind of beat it a couple times. Next, move on to 0.8. And beat it a few times. And now move on to 1. And you want to see how many times you can do it in a row. And the less you can do it in a row, the less the speed hack should meet. So if you can do it really consistently, I would say just to disable speed hack. But if you could really still barely do it, you should go back to 0.7 or 0.8. After you feel comfortable with your first choke point, you want to go to your next one. For me, it was this part that was really hard for some reason. And again, I'll switch it to 0.7 and try to beat it 3 to 5 times. Then go to 0.8, beat it 3 to 5 times again. Then go to 0.9 and practice it more. And then just go to 1. And again, apply the rule that we did in the last hard position. If you can do it consistently, then just keep practicing it. And if you can barely do it, go back to speed hack and do around 0.7 or 0.8. And make sure to do this with all of your choke points. And that's speed hack. Now this next tip is actually doing noclips daily. And let me show you what noclips to do based on your level. So we're going to go over to an AQ noclip. And my rule with this is no deco. So like this would be a good one when you're just starting out your level. But if you already have some practice in the level, you can go over something like this that has the deco. And it'll just make it more efficient because you're actually playing the level with the deco and everything. And usually what I like to do is run through these around 3 times before my next demon grind. And what I like to do is do a noclip around 3 to 4 times before going for my next demon grind. And the point of doing this is to help you learn the level and get more practice in it. If you're just starting out, I would say to do it 1 to 3 times. But if you're already playing the extreme, you might want to do it once because you're probably going to do more tips than just a noclip. That's tip number 8. Tip 9 is one of the most effective tips of the 10. Doing challenges of your game modes, and let me show you what challenges you really should do. So first you want to go search bar and instantly hit insane, because since we're playing extremes we kind of need it. And you want to do the game mode that your level has the most. For example, I'm probably going to be doing bloodbath, so you can see it just has a lot of ship parts in it. So going back here, I'm going to choose insane over here, and I'm going to type ship challenge. The unfortunate thing is you can't really do any of these filters and these filters here, because if you try to search over here, there's nothing that pops up. So going into these challenges, again, since you can't do the filters, you just want to filter through short ones. These will just give you the most practice. And you can scroll through these challenges. I'm going to do this one. And most of these challenges will not have any decoration, which just makes it easier to see. And you may get the occasional challenge with some deco like this. And you want to spend 30 minutes to an hour just grinding these challenges. Okay, wait, I gotta focus. And to do more challenges, you can always do the tiny ones as well. And usually in my videos I give time frames of how long you should do these. But instead what you should do is do these challenges until you feel like you've gotten a little better at your game mode. And if you've done a lot of these challenges, like for example wave challenges, you've probably done a lot, you can scroll through these pages to get fresh ones. And that's tip number 9. This last tip is a very underrated tip that I really don't see other YouTubers talk about. It's optimizing settings to make streams easier. You want this on to reduce screen tearing, and to make your gameplay just smooth in general. And if you want to go higher, you can always set it to like 360 or 2 times your monitor's refresh rate. For me, 360 is a good number because my monitor refresh rate is 180. If you're going to gameplay, you want to enable faster reset. This will just save time doing this. And as you can see, it says it restarts in 0.5 seconds instead of 1.0 seconds upon death. And you can go to the visual tab and disable things like trigger orb scale, explosion shake, and gravity effects. Also here you can hide the attempts and disable the shake. And in the practice menu you want to hide practice buttons and maybe hide the attempts. And for extreme demons, enabling death effect is kind of unnecessary because if you're going to be dying a lot, it's going to be annoying to see your death effect over and over again. And going back to the gameplay, this one just released, click between steps, you can always enable as well. And lastly, you can disable shader anti-aliasing to make your gameplay a little bit more smoother. That'll be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm honestly thinking of increasing the tip count even more. And yes, this video took very long to make because Geode was not available. And most of these tips did require Geode. I recommend checking out my 2026 Extreme Demons tutorial that has 7 useful tips to beat Extreme Demons, so I'll see you there.